And welcome, folks, to Champions for Life. I'm your host, Ken Wilson, and we're just so delighted to be in the studio with you today. Shout out to KKVV 1060 AM Las Vegas, who's simulcasting this broadcast. We love KKVV, the light of Las Vegas. Just so delighted to be with you. Special guest today. I'm very delighted to have Maite Salazar, who is the director, one of the directors for.
I am a new board member with Nevada Right to Life,
There
and
you
I'm a
go.
director with National Right to Life as well.
Wow, so there you go. And we've got her in studio today, and our topic is going to be
It's question 6.
Question 6, and we're going to find out all about it today.
Yes.
So you want to stay tuned. This is a ballot question. It's going to be showing up. You're going to be voting on this
Yes.
come November, and so we want to know what it's about, and how we should vote. And so it's very, very important. Before we get to any of that, I want to take a word from our sponsors. And I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge RTS Postal Express for all your printing needs, whether it's color copies, whether it's black and white copies. Maybe you would like your company or business logo on your shirts or your cups or your umbrellas, or perhaps you need business banners or signs. You name it, RTS Postal Express. My man Angelo, if you mention Champions for Life, you will get a discount on your order, so make it a big one. For more information, contact RTS at 702-489-4859. Again, that's 702-489-4859. RTS Postal Express, one of the proud sponsors of the Champions for Life broadcast. And welcome back, folks. Just so delighted. I'm just so grateful to be in here, because this topic, I got to tell you, Maite, is very, very important to our voters, but not only to our voters, but to the people of the state of Nevada. This question is going to set in stone our abortion laws. I won't say forever, but it's a heavy amendment.
It is.
And so I'm very glad for you to be in the studio today. But before we get to that, last week, I want to thank Phoebe Enderman of Plana. For those of you who saw the show last week, actually the last 2 weeks, because they've got a free rebroadcast last week. But plana.org is a great site for those of you who are looking for a digital answer to an unplanned pregnancy. And it's an excellent resource. It's completely free. You get a free life coach that will in person help you step by step through your pregnancy, pointing you to resources, doctors, dietary concerns, nutrition, medical access, resources that you have no idea about. If you have an unplanned pregnancy, plana.org is a great digital resource for you. And of course, there's First Choice Pregnancy Services, which of course is the outreach ministry. Actually, this broadcast is the outreach ministry of our clinic here, First Choice Pregnancy Services, which is, did you know, Maite, that First Choice is the model crisis pregnancy center in the nation, according to Focus on the Family?
I did not know that.
That's exactly right. And we were so honored to receive an award years ago from the wonderful folks at Focus on the Family. And, that's one of those things you hang on the wall. It's a great honor, actually. And so we're trying to live up to it.
Yep, I remember Focus on the Family.
Oh, absolutely. And so First Choice, we've been in existence now 20 years. And so far, let's see, Max, our producer, has a stat. How many birthdays, Max, have we up to now?
47,000.
We are at 47,000 birthdays. That's children who are alive today because this ministry exists. Amazing. 47,000. By the end of this year, we could crest 48,000. Maybe 49. Who knows? Maybe 50. Who knows? I really don't know. It's going to be amazing. Just to show you how busy we've been just in this past week, from March 4th through the 10th, here at First Choice, we conducted 50 pregnancy tests, 50, all free. And we did 34 ultrasounds, which is just an amazing amount of work in just the past week. And so let's take a look at those stats. For the month of January, we did 245 pregnancy tests, 221 of which were positive, 152 ultrasounds. We had 181 clients. All of them were either contemplating abortion or were considering abortion as an option. of those, 152 confirmed decided to have their baby. Isn't that amazing? That was just in January.
That's amazing.
And of those, not only of those, but of those who had the pregnancy tests, and also were her, clients where we did ultrasounds, 204 of those beautiful ladies we shared the gospel with. Isn't that amazing? That was in January. Now, February, we have done 173 pregnancy tests, 154 of which were positive, 150 ultrasounds, 115 of those clients from last month were either abortion-minded or considering abortion as an option. And of those 115, 97 of those, almost 100 of those young ladies decided to keep their child. And we presented the gospel 135 times. There was 2 abortion pill reversals. That was in January. What did we have in? And there was 2 in February and 2 in January where we had an abortion pill reversal, which is just amazing. This is for young women who have taken the abortion drug and then said, "Wait a minute, hold it. What have I done? I don't want to do this. I want my baby." And they've called First Choice, and we were able to successfully reverse the effects of the poison of the abortion drug, and the pregnancy is now continuing. And
Praise God.
Isn't that something? Isn't that amazing? And so that's just in the last 2 months. Now, maybe you're listening to the broadcast via radio, via KKVV, and you're driving along and you're thinking, holy smoke, how much does all of this cost? I want you to know that all of the services here at First Choice are absolutely free. We do not charge the ladies and families that visit our clinic a dime. Wow. For any of the services, whether it's pregnancy tests, whether it's ultrasounds, whether it's counseling, whether it's pointing them to resources, material needs, none of it costs them anything. We absorb it all. Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
And we've been doing that for 20 years without 1 cent from the government.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? And so, listen, if you'd like more information, look, we're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for ambassadors to go and listen. The worst thing that could happen is that First Choice Pregnancy Services remains the best kept secret in Las Vegas. This is a resource for women born out of our heart to them, right? It's our compassionate answer to women who are in a crisis pregnancy. And we would love to be able to share our ministry, our clinic, with your pastor, with your church. If you allow us, we would love to present all of our services, which are free of charge, to your pastor, maybe on a Sunday or a Wednesday night, whether you give us 10 minutes, 15 minutes, a half hour, or the entire service. And I'll tell you specifically who could really benefit from such a class or seminar is your youth group, right? Because a lot of times, a lot of the kids that are sitting in youth, they're hearing an adverse message from the education system, from their peers, from culture. And we can come in and say, hey, you know what? Whether it's you or someone that you know, right, that find themselves in just, a mess, an unplanned pregnancy, and they don't know what to do, right? First Choice stands ready to meet their needs free of charge. So what do? Write this number down. Our number here at First Choice is 702-294-CARE. That's 294-2273, always available. And not only that, if you call our number, actually I think it's on our website, firstchoicelv.org. If you log in, we have a 24-hour response line so that no matter what time you call or contact us, there will always be someone there ready, available to meet the needs of whoever's calling. And it doesn't matter, day or night, and 24/7. And it's a new service that we've provided here at First Choice, and it's absolutely amazing. So if you have more questions and you'd like more information, or if you'd like a tour of our clinic, by the way, you can give First Choice a call. Again, our number is 702-294-CARE, 294-2273. Speaking of which, I guess we can jump straight to the March for Life that's coming up. On March 28th, you say, Kenny, well, how can you afford as a clinic to give all of these services free of charge to tens of thousands of women and families? Well, we do it because of things like the March for Life. And this is coming up on March 28th at 9 a.m. Now, you can get more information from our website if you go to fcpschampions.org and log in, get more information. But if for those of you who are watching us on YouTube or Rumble, you can log in at Champions for Life. You can see our podcast. In fact, you see all the podcasts there. But you'll see a graphic there that's going to give you all the information that you need to participate, including register for the March for Life. Again, that's coming up March 28th, 9 a.m. at Trinity Life Center. That's 1000 East St. Louis Avenue. And that's going to begin, registration is at 8 a.m. The march begins at 9 a.m. And it's going to be an easy march. I'll tell you this, it's just a couple of miles. And the way it works is we give you a sponsor sheet, which you can download from our website. And you have someone like Maite, who's going to sponsor you for $1,000 a mile, right? And then at the end of your little 2-mile walk, we will collect from Maite the $2,000. And this is what funds our clinic, right? This March for Life. Maite, I want to thank you for your $2,000 donation. And so that's what you do. You just go and find someone and say, listen, I'm going to be walking for, we support me for $25 a mile, $100 a mile, whatever it is for the 2 miles you walk. And the great thing about it is before the march concludes back at Trinity Life Center, you're going to get to stop by our clinic and actually see our facility. You'll be able to meet the staff. You'll see, our sonogram rooms, our counseling rooms, our administrating conference office. You'll even get to see our studio where we're actually shooting this right now. And just see how we all make it happen here at First Choice. And it's a beautiful facility. You're going to love it. So again, that's coming up March 28th at 9 a.m. March at Trinity Life Center, 1000 East St. Louis Avenue. And again, if you want more information, you can log into fcpschampions.org, get more information for that. Also on April 16th, here at First Choice, we're going to have a call to care, a Partners in Life, a medical professional gathering. Now, this is a call to all of our medical professionals because we need you. Listen, our goal here at First Choice is to open up another clinic just like this one, to duplicate what we're doing, because in a city of 3 million people, right, 3 million plus, 2 clinics like this, we have one, All Life has another, 2 clinics. The community is underserved, and we need more facilities like this one that can address the needs of women that are facing crisis pregnancies, or perhaps are going to be taking the abortion pill, and they need quick medical attention, right? And so in order to do that, we need to staff it. And we need doctors, we need nurses, we need sonographers, we need administrators, we need volunteers. And so we're asking that you mark your calendar, April 16th at 6 p.m., the call to care, Partners in Life. It's a medical professional gathering right here at First Choice, 860 East Sahara, right next to Tower of Jewels on East Sahara. And mark your calendar, April 16th, 6 p.m. If you're in the medical profession, especially, we're calling on you. Meet with us. If you have questions about what we're doing here, about our clinic, maybe you'd like to become more involved, maybe you'd like a position. And as a matter of fact, speaking of positions, First Choice is hiring.
Nice.
We're hiring. Listen, because we're always busy here. We're always busy, and we need. Look, here's what we need. First thing we need is a full-time bookkeeper. So we're looking for a full-time. We need someone to handle the financial resources that are entrusted to this ministry with excellence and integrity, right? And if you have some bookkeeping experience and you love babies and families and you love the Lord, listen, we want to hire you. So you can give us a call on number 702-294-CARE. And we're also looking for a part-time human resources support, HR support. And let me tell you something. For those of you looking for a part-time job, imagine corralling angels. I mean, because that's what you're going to be doing here. I mean, what a great job this would be. If you're looking for a part-time HR position, then this would be like the easiest job in the world, because all of the staff here at First Choice are just wonderful ladies and men that just love the Lord. I mean, it's just going to be the easiest job you could ever imagine. Part-time, so if you want to be able to help build and care for a healthy, mission-aligned team culture, and perhaps you have a little HR experience, give First Choice a call. We want to hire you. And our number, again, 702-294-CARE. And finally, we're looking for a full-time donor relations coordinator. And your job will be to cultivate and steward meaningful relationships with those who are supporters of this ministry, right? And it's very important because ultimately we survive here through the donations and the love of the people that believe in our ministry, right? The benevolence of the folks that love life. And we need a full-time donor relations coordinator. And if that's you, if that's something that you would like to do, these are paid positions, folks, then give First Choice a call and say, hey, listen, you know what? I got some experience. You know what? I can handle donors. You know, I can make sure, everything's great and, and get them excited about what our future is and what our needs are. Give First Choice a call and send in your application. Our number, again, is 702-294-CARE, 702-294-2273. And listen, we're hiring. So, if you need a job, come on down. And we would love to interview you. And at the very least, you're going to get to see this beautiful facility.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's going to be beautiful. And finally, I want to talk about 40 Days for Life. Now, 40 Days for Life, that's my own ministry. And we're past the midway point now. We started in February 18th. We're going to go all the way to March 29th. And we're praying along with 600 other cities around the world, from Australia to England to Spain to Ghana, Africa, right, to South Africa, all over the world. Folks are praying in front of an abortion facility for 40 straight days. We began on February 18th. We're going to go all the way to March 29th, 40 straight days. And if you'd like to be a part, all you need to do is log into 40daysforlife.com/Las Vegas and register, download the flyers, get the information. We've already had, as we said, we've already kicked off. We already got folks praying out there. And you can join them and be a part. I think we have a couple of graphics of some folks that have been out there faithfully praying, believing that God can make a difference. And I'll tell you something. Here in Las Vegas, 2 abortion facilities where 40 Days has prayed have closed. Now, they've moved, and so we followed them to a new location. And that's what we're doing. We're praying that God will not only close the facility permanently, but ultimately that God will change the hearts of the people that are driving through. And we're praying for the doctors and the staff of the abortion facility, that God will change their hearts and draw them out of this business. Listen, I think well over 200 abortion clinics have closed permanently. The 2 that have closed here in Vegas, we don't count those because they were not permanent closures. But I think worldwide, we're well over 200. I think we're at 180 some odd clinic workers that have quit. One of those was right here in Las Vegas, that were working inside the abortion facility, came out and said, you know what? Thank you for your prayers. Today is my last day.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing? Your prayers can accomplish this.
Absolutely.
Not only that, but if sometimes, by just having you praying in front of the abortion facility, when someone drives in and sees you praying for them, God can touch their heart and change their minds. And if you have information and resources like maybe a pamphlet from First Choice, you can guide them to us that will provide them answers that will help them have their child. Maybe they think it's impossible. Maybe they think their crisis is just so huge that there's nothing that can be done. And I'll tell you something, that's the furthest thing from the truth. I can't tell you, listen, there's, I think of all the thousands of women that have had their child, all of them are the testimony after testimony after testimony of women that are just so happy and joyful that they're holding this beautiful baby, right? And are so grateful to First Choice because we're there. And that's why we're here. We want to be a blessing to our community. And by you being a part of 40daysforlife.com, and here in Las Vegas, you can be a part of that as well. So again, if you want more information, log into our website, 40daysforlife.com/Las Vegas, 40daysforlife.com/Las Vegas. Whew.
That was a lot.
That was a lot. I mean, there's a lot going on.
There is.
And if for any reason you're driving along and say, there's no way I could get all of that, just log into our podcast, Champions for Life, and you'll see us on YouTube. You'll see us on Rumble, soon to be TikTok, I believe. Our producer is nodding yes, that's going to happen soon. And all of that information is available for you as well. Or you can just log into the website, fcpschampions.org. Well, finally, Maite, I finally get to you. Maite Salazar, one of the directors for Nevada Right to Life and National Right to Life as well.
That's correct.
And so welcome to the broadcast.
Well, thank you for inviting me. This is a very important topic, and it needs to be discussed. People need to know about it.
And the topic for today is question 6. Now, question 6, for those of you who are maybe new voters, maybe you're going to be voting for the first time, what is question 6 and why is it important?
Well, question 6 is a proposed amendment to our Constitution, which will enshrine abortion with very particular language that really expands on our existing law. So it really does away with our existing laws, and it will expand. It'll probably make us the most extreme abortion place in the country.
That's what I'm worried about, turning Las Vegas and Nevada into the abortion capital of the United States. And question 6 will go very far in doing this if it passes.
Exactly.
Wow. And so, all right. So let me ask you this. So this is the question 6. It's a ballot question. This is going to be an amendment. What is the difference between an amendment and a law? And what's, a lot of people think, well, if it's a bad law, we can just repeal it.
Yep. Well, once you change the Constitution, it's not easy to change.
So the ballot question is going to physically change our Constitution.
It will physically change the language in our Constitution. And the only way to change that is very, very complicated. A governor cannot veto it. Legislators cannot change it. And they can only pass laws that fit within the language of the constitutional language, which is very broad.
Wow. So first of all, we've had, in our last election cycle, we've had question 6 come up and it is passed. And now we're going to be voting on it again.
Yes, because part of the process is it has to pass by the people 2 times, 2 election cycles. So it did pass the first cycle. Certainly, it passed with like 65%. They had anticipated it would pass with 75%. So we really made a lot of headway with very limited amount of money. I mean, this is a David versus Goliath battle because it was like 200,000 versus 12 million invested. The other side has unlimited funding to push this constitutional amendment.
So they a lot of ad campaigns, a lot of publicity. And consequently, the people, and a lot of the argument was framed by them as well.
Exactly, right? And it was a lot of misinformation. It was making people believe that their abortion rights would be eliminated if they voted no on question 6, and that was not true at all.
Right. Okay. So currently, in our current law here in the state of Nevada, what is our abortion law here? What is that?
Well, that's a very good question, Ken, because that's actually the answer to that. Very few people know. And I encounter people every day that have no idea what the existing law is. The existing law is abortion is currently legal through 6 months.
So whether question 6 passes or not, we're still going to have abortion all the way through 6 months, regardless. If question 6 passes, then it's going to go potentially further than 6 months.
Yes.
But if question 6 fails to pass, we're still going to have abortion access 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, all the way to 6 months.
All the way to 6 months.
And you'll still have abortion pill access.
You'll still have abortion pill access. What will change if the amendment passes is that we will So right now it's 6 months for no reason or any reason. Okay. After 6 months, it's still available in certain cases. If it's something that is for the health of the mother, I mean, that's still not an argument. It's still protected. However, if the amendment does pass, currently parental notification is required. And
That's the law now.
that's the law now.
So if a 12, 13-year-old girl gets pregnant, the abortion clinic is required by law to inform the parents.
It's required by law to inform the parents.
They can't stop it.
They can't stop it because it's not consent. It doesn't require parental consent, but it does require one parent to be notified.
I still think that's incredible, that someone can have abortion surgery on my daughter who's 12, 13 years old without my permission. But that is the state of the law currently.
That is the state of the law currently.
And that's this amendment is, well, what's going to happen to that law if the amendment passes?
That goes away.
So let me understand this correct. If question 6 passes and my 12-year-old daughter gets pregnant, someone can whisk her away to an abortion facility if she wishes, obtain the abortion, and I will never know.
You will never know.
Until there's a complication.
And what's interesting, Ken, is that's actually existed for the last 40 years because that law was passed, I believe, in 1985. And there was Planned Parenthood filed a court proceeding and placed an injunction. So that law was not enforced for 40 years. Until just recently when it was overturned. When Roe versus Wade was overturned, that injunction was overturned. So now we have parental notification in place, finally, for the first time. So in the last 40 years, this has been happening, and most parents don't even know.
And that's not to even mention how that affects trafficking of women into our state. So, if another girl from Pennsylvania, say, decides that, she's 13 years old, she can be trafficked into our state. And if question 6 passes, no one will ever know. The perpetrator will be able to hide his crime, and they'll be more than happy to give this young lady an abortion, and then she can fly back to Pennsylvania, and no one will be the wiser.
That's right. You know what? I'm going to actually read the language because the language tells you a lot about what this amendment is going to do. So this amendment, the language will change to, in Article 1, Section 25, all individuals, it doesn't say all women, it says all individuals shall have a fundamental right to abortion performed or administered by a qualified healthcare practitioner. So if you pay attention, it doesn't say a licensed physician. It says a qualified healthcare practitioner, which is very broad under Nevada revised statutes. So... and it says until fetal viability, which that has never been definitively defined, or when needed to protect the life or health of the pregnant patient. Well, the life or health of the pregnant patient is determined by the patient and their doctor. So that could be, someone that just doesn't feel mentally healthy or ready.
Mental health as well.
Yes.
So
it doesn't have to be a physical.
So if 13, 14-year-old young lady says, well, I really don't want this baby and I'm getting really depressed because of the pregnancy, that is grounds by a healthcare professional, not a doctor.
Right.
Which I still don't understand how a healthcare professional supersedes a doctor, but apparently with this ballot question language, a healthcare practitioner can somehow facilitate, maybe through abortion pills or such.
Yes, the school nurses could hand out abortion pills to students and not notify parents. So your child could be bleeding in the back room in their bedroom, and they'll be too afraid to tell you. So,
wow,
the foreseeable dangers are real, and beyond that, it also states, without interference from the state or its political subdivisions. Ken, how do you interpret that?
Well, oversight. Normally,
no oversight.
Wouldn't medical facilities like First Choice, like ours, which has medical oversight, what happened? That just goes away?
According to the language in the new language.
How could you have an abortion clinic, for example, that has no medical oversight, yet you're performing some type of surgery? I don't understand this. How can you not have medical oversight from the medical examiner, something, licensing. How is this constitutional?
Well, if it passes and it's amended and the people vote on it, it becomes constitutional under the Nevada Constitution. I mean, even my nail salon is regulated. So I want to. This message is for pro-choice women. If you are pro-choice, vote no on question 6, because this will eliminate the current protections that you have under Nevada law, which includes licensed physicians, it includes regulation to clinics, it includes all of the protections that women have been fighting for. I'm not for abortion, but abortion is legal up to 6 months, and there's nothing I can do to change it. Right. It's a vote of the people that would change that. It takes a vote of the people to change the current law.
But at least the clinics are being regulated and overseen for health and health violations, that type of thing.
Exactly.
For medical, they call it medical waste disposal. But I mean, there's so many aspects to the abortion and why medical oversight is needed, right? To make sure that the doctors that are performing the surgery are qualified. But in this ballot question, you don't even need to be a doctor.
That's right.
I don't understand.
That's right.
And who is telling the folks that? I mean, besides us, who is out there warning people about what's coming? I mean, they've already voted yes for this once.
And what's interesting is that many people who voted yes really did not understand what they were voting for, because the language in the ballot question was so confusing that it's not very clear. So the education awareness around question 6 is critical. It's critical for everyone, whether you're pro-life or pro-choice. We want to protect women. If you decide that, I mean, even though some of us may not believe in abortion, but if you choose to have an abortion, you have the right to an abortion up to 6 months. And if you choose to have an abortion, you should be able to go to a clinic that's regulated.
Right.
And that you have a licensed physician.
I don't understand how this ballot question is doing away with licensed physicians. Just doing away with them. Now that you're calling them.
It's a healthcare practitioner.
A healthcare practitioner.
which that includes dentists, physical therapists. It can include a number of things. Nurses, so school nurses.
Someone told me a tattoo artist is licensed under a healthcare professional.
I can't confirm that, but it's very possible.
And the only thing that I can imagine they want to get away with doing this, I would presume, is so that anyone can hand anybody the abortion drug. The only reason I can think of them wanting to do that, to just do away with doctors altogether, is so that they can proliferate the abortion drug to anybody that wants it. And if you have no oversight, if you have no government agency that's saying, well, hold on a second, who are you and why hey, look, I'm a healthcare professional, I'm a dentist, or I'm a school nurse, or I'm a pediatrician.
A speech therapist.
I could be a speech therapist, or a tattoo artist or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. I'm a hypnotist. I can, I am now going to provide, abortion drugs, and ballot question number 6 is going to allow me to do it.
Yes. And in order to challenge it, it'll have to be challenged in the courts. So it's really a court will decide, a judge will decide. And all a judge can do is interpret the language that's in the Constitution. They can't rewrite the language. They can't create their own interpretation. They have to interpret the language that's in the Constitution.
That is absolutely frightening.
So it's only going to reinforce. It's only going to reinforce, I believe, the language, the broad language in the change.
It's just frightening. I'm speaking with Maite Salazar, who's one of the directors for Nevada Right to Life and National Right to Life. And we're dealing with a very serious issue, and that's ballot question number 6. Ballot question number 6 will be something that you are going to vote on come November. And if it passes, if question 6 passes, we will enshrine forever in the Nevada Constitution the right to an abortion without parental notification, let alone parental consent, for those of you who have minor daughters, without any restrictions whatsoever, without any type of government oversight, without doctors, the right for women to obtain abortion drugs, abortion surgery. It's just an abortion free-for-all in the state of Nevada with no restrictions whatsoever. And it's frightening, and it's already passed once. And if we don't stop it this time, then it will become part of our Nevada Constitution, considered a right. Now, right now, we limit abortions up to 6 months. So if you're 6 months pregnant, you can obtain an abortion. But if you're beyond 6 months, the law currently states you may not obtain an abortion. However, with the vagueness in this ballot question, how far could you go to obtain an abortion? I mean, could it be potentially 7 months, 8 months?
It's up to 9 months.
9 months?
Or until fetal viability, and that would be defined by a judge. And fetal viability may be, as long as it's in the womb, it's not viable. Because many argue that a fetus is not viable until it's outside the womb.
Well, so that brings us through all 9 months. That is absolutely frightening.
You know, and what's also scary is that currently, if an abortion fails, so if a baby is born alive of a botched abortion, let's just say, doctors have to do everything they can to save the life of the child because he's no longer in the womb of the woman, right. and the child is still alive. Well, if question 6 passes, that no longer, I don't see that as an option.
Without government oversight, there's no one to restrict someone from caring for a child who has survived the abortion, which is just opens up a whole nother dimension to this. You have a child who's struggling for life, who is saved, who's still alive, survived the abortion. You know, and folks, I'll be honest with you, there are a number of people, there are hundreds of people that are alive today who have survived a failed abortion. And if that happens and question 6 passes, then who's to say what's going to happen to that struggling baby who's trying to survive outside the womb?
Yeah. And you know, the current law is pretty broad. I mean, most people don't know what the current law is. And when I share what the current law is, they say, well, I didn't realize it was that extreme. So it's very interesting because, but even with the current law, there are protections in place. And with the constitutional amendment, that will do away with the current law. It will do away with the current law. Not only will it do away with the current law, because it doesn't fall within the language of the Constitution language, there is no law that can be passed in the future that doesn't fit within the language in the Constitution.
In other words, there's no way to curb this. There's no way to come back and say later, once this is voted upon and passes, well, we really should have a doctor that does the abortion. No, it's too late. You had a chance to vote against it. You didn't. It's not part of the Constitution. There's no doctor requirement as a constitutional right for abortion. Therefore, your argument is null, is void.
Right.
And that's just one aspect. Not only the frightening thing. Listen, I have 3 daughters. Right. The frightening thing for me is that families that have children, young ladies, that make a mistake and become pregnant, they're going to think, well, you know, abortion access is just an easy treatment that can be done. You know, mom and dad don't have to know, and we're going to get this done. And they either are handed the abortion drug by someone who was trying to cover their crime, or cover the pregnancy somehow. And the next thing you know, you're getting a phone call from the emergency room of a hospital because your daughter is now bleeding excessively. That's the other thing about the abortion pill. The stat is 11% of all women, 11% of all women that take the abortion drug end up in the emergency room. And what if that's your daughter? And if question 6 passes, your 11, 12, 13-year-old daughter who gets pregnant, right, takes the abortion drug because someone either gave it to her, right, or is trying to cover their crime, or maybe she took it herself because her friend gave it to her at school, or a school nurse gave it to her, right? And now she's struggling in an emergency room somewhere, and you don't know about it until you get a call from the hospital. How frightening is that? And that is going to happen. It is going to happen if question 6 passes. And that's just unbelievable to me. It's just unbelievable.
And that poses another question. Can the emergency room help a 13-year-old without consent of the parents? I mean, it poses a lot of questions. And then if the 13-year-old doesn't want to let the parents know what really happened, or doesn't want to doesn't inform the ER doctors of what happens,
the details of what
yes,
has happened to her,
yep,
right?
Yep.
And then who's going to know?
Who's going to know? Yep. Because that will change how treatment is done, and I mean, it is very dangerous.
Folks, this is a devastating. If this question 6 passes, is going to be devastating. All right, now I'm talking to Maite Salazar, who's one of the directors for Nevada Right to Life and National Right to Life, and we're now going to address in just a second about what we can do about this.
Yes.
Now, there's some training seminars that are going on. There are folks that are willing to come to your church, your youth group, your seminar, your Bible study, whatever, and explain to them what they can do and to make more people aware of what's coming, of what's the danger of question 6 if it passes. So we're going to hear more about that, how to become an ambassador for No on 6, and we're going to do that in just a minute after we hear a word from our sponsors. I want to take a moment to acknowledge one of the great sponsors that make this portion of the broadcast possible, and that's Dr. Ray Kelly of Kelly Chiropractic. Treats injuries from falls, accidents, motor vehicle crashes, work-related incidents. For those of you who are suffering from allergies, he also has a procedure called acutherapy, going to treat your allergies and ease some of that discomfort. Accepts most forms of insurance. Been in the business over 33 years here in Las Vegas. Give him a call. Set up your appointment. The number is 702-870-9200. And welcome back, folks, to the Champions for Life broadcast. I'm speaking with Maite Salazar, who is the Nevada Right to Life, one of the Nevada Right to Life directors, and one of the directors for the National Right to Life. And we're talking about question 6 and the dangers that are coming if this question passes in November. And we're urging you to not only vote no on 6, because it's just going to be devastating to our young women and families, obviously children. And we want you to become an ambassador to help spread the word about how dangerous question 6 is. You know, a lot of people out there are going to be talking about, well, it's just, it's just to protect
abortion access.
It's women's rights. It's to protect women's rights.
Women's reproductive rights.
Yeah, it's right, and it's look. That's a smokescreen, because this amendment will do away with the requirement for doctors. It'll do away with parental notification for you parents who have teenage daughters. It'll do away with oversight from government oversight into our medical facilities that are providing abortions, right? I mean, without medical oversight, who runs a clinic? First Choice could not exist without medical oversight. Right. We could not. Mm-hmm. But if question 6 passes, you can forget about that. There'll be no medical oversight, right? It's just frightening. And the other part of this is human trafficking. Look, already human trafficking, people are being drawn to Nevada for various reasons. They're being trafficked into our state. There's a lot of promiscuity that's happening, people that are taking advantage of young women, and by allowing question 6 to pass, this problem is going to amplify. Already, there are programs in existence that will provide women who are coming from out of state that will pay for their abortion, that will pay for their hotel stay, that will pay for childcare if they're bringing children, that will pay for their transportation, will pay for everything. That's already happening. How much more of a problem will this become if question 6 passes? Now, there's an answer to this. You can become an ambassador, and Maite is going to tell us exactly how to do that.
Everyone can be an ambassador. It doesn't matter what your amount of time availability. It's about understanding what question 6 really is, sharing that information with your family, with your friends, with your neighbors, with your colleagues at work. repeating no on question 6, repeating no on question 6. Many times people get to the ballot box or get their ballot and they get to the questions and they're not really sure which way to answer and they don't understand the language, but they'll remember someone that they trusted that said, vote no on 6.
Right.
Protect your kids, protect women. And so there are so many ways that you can get involved. We have ambassador trainings happening regularly. We have one coming up on Sunday, March 15th. It's from 4 to 5. It'll be via Zoom. And we will tell you all about what question 6 is, what the current abortion law is, what happens if question 6 passes, but what you can do to stop it. And there are so many ways that you can get involved.
All right. So this is coming up Sunday, March 15th between 4 and 5. Now, this is a Zoom call, right? So it doesn't matter where you are in the state of Nevada, you will be able to participate in this online training to become an ambassador for No on 6. And again, that's going to be Sunday, March 15th between 4 and 5 p.m. Now, for those of you who are driving along, how will they be able to get more information? You have a telephone number?
I do have a telephone number, and that is 775-525-1123. Or you can, if you have a visual and you can see the QR code, you can actually register using the QR code on the screen. For the people that are listening, please call the number 775-525-1123. Please leave a message and we will call you back and get you signed up. If you can't make it for this weekend's training, please still register. Please still call. We can sign you up for a future training. We need every voice. Every voice matters. I have grandchildren. I have a 9-year-old and a 10-year-old. Mm-hmm. And it's very scary.
Yeah, this is critical.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing. Again, if you're driving along, remember this number. The number 775-525-1123. And take that number, call them, get yourself registered. Again, that's going to be Sunday, March 15th between 4 and 5 p.m.
Yep.
If you're watching via YouTube or Rumble, again, you can log into Champions for Life podcast via YouTube or Rumble, and you'll see the QR code, or you'll be able to see the web address there, and you can log in and get yourself registered for this event. Now, this is not a one-time event. If you miss this, doesn't mean that you've missed it. What we'd like to see happen is that this seminar, first of all, it's going to be happening periodically, correct?
Yes.
And but what we'd like to do is be able to present this to either your youth group, your Wednesday night church service, maybe for a portion of your Sunday service, maybe accessing your Bible study at some point during the course of this year before November. Because after November, it's not going to matter, because it's either going to be stopped or it will become part of our Constitution.
Yep.
So this has to be addressed, and has to be addressed now. And you can obtain some help from Nevada Right to Life to present to your congregation, to your youth group, what they can do and the dangers of question 6. You know, a lot of our young folk, some of whom are going to be voting for the first time,
right?
They're going to be wondering, do I vote yes on this? I think all my schoolmates and classmates are telling me this is to protect women's rights and women's health, and this is not that. This is to magnify abortion rights in our state all the way through 9 months of pregnancy. Can you imagine? It's incredible.
It's going to take us to the dark ages. You know, when they talked about the back alley abortions, we don't have many alleys anymore, but it really will take us back to, I mean, it's removing the protections that we currently have in place.
Yeah.
So that's like back alley abortions.
Well, the other part of it is the fact that with the proliferation of the abortion drug, what's happening now is the back alley is now becoming your bedroom and your bathroom.
Yes.
And women are unfortunately delivering dead children in their own home now, and it's frightening. And so that's another problem. But this will be exacerbated for those women who are looking for abortion surgery. There's no medical oversight. There's no restriction for minors obtaining abortions. So if some perpetrator gets, some man gets your daughter pregnant, she can obtain an abortion, or perhaps he could manipulate her to obtain an abortion. You will never know about it as a parent, and it will be legal. That's the craziness of it. It's legal because we will enshrine this into our Constitution if question 6 passes. It's frightening. It's absolutely frightening. It's maddening how far the abortion lobby will go to allow unrestricted abortion for any reason, for any time during a pregnancy, without restriction, without government oversight, without any age limits, without parental consent or notification, without any kind of restrictions at all. That's what's going to happen if Question 6 passes, and it already passed once, and it's about to pass again unless we stop it.
And you can help us stop that. We have some incredible tools and technology we'll be using that will really multiply our effect and get our voice out there. And so if you sign up for our trainings, you'll learn all about that. It's going to make it a lot easier. Of course, we'll still be making calls. We'll still be knocking on doors. We'll still be handing out materials. The most important thing is that you have the right information, so that if someone asks you about Question 6, you can give them the right information. Because I sense that there will be a lot of ads that will not be giving you the full story.
It'd be very misleading.
So it's important that you have the right information. Even just the exact language will clear things up.
All you have to do is read it. If you read it, you'll understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But you'll never read it if you just listen to the propaganda from the abortion lobby.
Right.
So if you want more information, first of all, you want to try and become part of this training seminar that's coming up on Sunday, March 15th. And that's going to be between 4 and 5 p.m. Here's the number. If you're driving along, right? First of all, if you're writing anything down, please pull over. But the number is 775-525-1123. Again, that's 775-525-1123. Or if you're viewing this podcast via Rumble or YouTube, you'll be able to look, and there's a QR code plus a web address for your Zoom. It's going to be a Zoom call, and we're going to be talking about what the language of Question 6 is and how it is going to impact our community and what you can do about it to stop this. Listen, we don't want Las Vegas and Nevada to become the abortion capital of the United States. Mm-hmm. But if this question passes, that is what our city is going to be known for. And everybody and anybody is going to be coming and traveling to our city. I don't want to become the abortion destination of the United States. I don't want my city to I don't want other states to bring their, not necessarily, I don't call it a problem, but their search for abortion to our city. That's not what I want to be known for.
Yep. No, and it is so important to sign up for our trainings, because we will provide the messaging that we want out there. We want a unified message. We want respectful dialogue, because I think that this crosses over whether you're pro-life or pro-choice. Every vote will matter in this election. Right. And so we have to respect our differences of opinion and come together on something that we can agree on. We can agree on protection for women. We can agree on parental notification. We can agree on safety in clinics and oversight. So there are a lot of things that we can agree on. So that respectful dialogue is going to be critical to making a difference. And I think that we can all kind of come together around Question 6 and how dangerous it is, and that we all need to vote no.
Yeah, thank you. And I've been speaking with Maite Salazar, who's the one of the directors for Nevada Right to Life and National Right to Life, and she is spearheading the campaign to inform and educate Nevadans about the dangers, the inherent, the cliff that we're about to drive over come November on ballot question number 6. Again, it's no on 6, and we want to help you become more informed. And first-time voters, young people, we want them to become informed as well, so that they can, give an answer for maybe their contemporaries, people that are in their schools or colleges that perhaps are voting yes, but if they had more information, if they had the truth of what's going to happen, if this passes, maybe they can dissuade them from voting yes on 6. We really want to see this defeated. come November. And so, Maite, I want to thank you for taking the time. I want to thank you for spearheading this. I know you and Melissa Clement have been working very hard on getting this done, and you're going to continue to all the way through November. I thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Well, thank you for the invitation.
Yeah. And again, folks, if you have questions about anything that you've heard today, you can give First Choice a call. Again, our number is 702-294-CARE. That's 294-2273. And remember, on March 28th, that's going to be our March for Life. Make sure you sign up. You can log into fcpschampions.org and fill out your registration, get your sponsor form, and continue to be a blessing to First Choice as we continue to serve and bless the community of Las Vegas. And again, on March 17th is going to be the Imago Dei Pastoral Leaders Breakfast. That's going to be at the Balm of Gilead Global Ministries, 860 East Twain, Suite 106. If you need more information about that, you can log into imagodaymovement.org. And they got a ton of events that are coming up, so you want to be a part of that. Question 6 is going to be on the docket that day as well. And of course, on April 16th, the Call to Care, Partners in Life. For those of you who are medical professionals, we want to meet you. Again, that'll be April 16th, 6 p.m. right here at First Choice, 860 East Sahara. Give us a call. Let us know you're coming. And again, that number is 702-294-CARE. And folks, after all of that, remember this. The Lord loves you, and you can be a champion for life.